Hi, I'm Barry. Right, we've gone through all the tools and materials that we need to actually produce this piece of Carrara marble, which is this here. Okay, so we're going to replicate that, or Andy's going to show us how to replicate it on our board, and I'm sort of going to copy him and see if I can sort of produce the same sort of thing. So over to you, Andrew, mate.
Great,
Fantastic.
Great, as we've discussed, we've got white eggshell on there, which is an acrylic finish, and we're going to start using some Polyvine Scumble glaze.
Yeah.
So I've got a Lucas brush here. If we load that up as you would normal paint.
Yeah. Is this thinned down or anything?
No, that's straight out of the pot there, and then we're going to apply it to a surface as though you were applying a water-based varnish to the surface.
Okay, and this is not thinned down or anything; it's just straight out of the.
Yep, straight out of there, straight into the pot. So we'll start in the centre.
Yeah.
And then we'll brush that nice and evenly right to the edges. So you've got a nice even coat all the way through. So this will stay open, stay wet for probably around about 25 minutes. It does depend on how hot the room is. If you've got a breeze, it really speeds up the drying process. This is a clear coat. In the can it looks kind of milky, but it dries clear. And now we can start applying these paints. Where we've got the Payne's grey, we've got the ultramarine blue, and we've got the titanium white. And as we said, that's all acrylic. So what we'll do, Barry, we'll start with a brush. We've got a small brush there. And we'll just dip this into the Polyvine Scumble glaze and just work it out on there, onto your palette.
So there's just a palette, yeah?
Yep, just a palette. We'll just have a bit of
Corex in this instance.
That's right. Works very well. So what we've got now, if we dip it into the white, and we'll just add some white into the Polyvine Scumble glaze, and then we'll just add a tiny bit of black, which is the Payne's grey. And what we're doing now, this is creating the colour of the veining that we have in the background of the white Carrara marble. I like to add just a touch of blue, and this just makes the white marble look more realistic than if it was just a grey finish. So
just the tips,
just a tip, it's quite a strong pigment. So we'll just add a bit of just the ultramarine blue, and that just makes it more realistic once it's on the surface.
So that's quite a similar grey to yours, isn't
it? Yeah, that'll be fine. Right, what we'll start with first, we'll start with two veins going through. If I just refer up to here, this is obviously a larger panel, but we'll do some veining coming through here like this. And they'll be the main veins for the basic structure of Carrara.
Yeah.
So I'll probably just start here, Barry, and then basically you just want to be able to pull the brush through and then have some jagged lines, almost like if you dropped a piece of stone and you get those natural cracks. So I've got two veins going through there, and all I'm using is a standard 1-inch brush. Barry's got a very slightly different brush there, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, what I've seen in the past with some students is that it looks like a noughts and crosses board when they finish.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's trying to break that sort of.
That's right.
That sort of area. So
yeah, we want to try and avoid that. Quite often, when people are learning this for the first time, they'll have kind of more like S shapes or wiggly worm sort of shapes.
Like spiders sort of gone over the page.
That's right.
Kind of thing, yeah.
So you want to have it kind of nice and diagonal, and then some nice jagged edges. Right, and then what I like to do now, Barry, you can just add a bit more paint to the brush. Yeah. This is just to get the overall basic structure. And then I'd just like to link these up, the two
it's coming off one of these, the jagged sort of edge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we're creating those lozenge shapes. Yep, just keep going up like that. That'll be absolutely
joining
fine.
This next one, yeah?
Yep, that's good.
And then this one coming off, say here.
Yep.
Go into.
Yeah, you can create it going up through here.
Yep.
So even though you can just bring the jagged bit down again, and then you can go back up again. That's great. Very good, Barry. Excellent. Right, and then what I like to do is to do some secondary veins. So these are the kind of the main ones, but we can kind of just come up here and have some just very light, just take the weight off the brush and then have some kind of just lighter veins going through.
So I've gone a bit rounded there.
That's all right.
And
We can always
sort of
change it.
down.
Yeah, that's great.
And then it's hardly any grey on there, but it'll be okay.
That's
I think.
fine. Yeah, that's how we want it. And then we can just introduce a little bit more kind of pale veining down the bottom here. So at the moment we just have that kind of basic structure of how the Carrera would be. And if we were doing a big panel on a wall, then we could almost magnify that. So it would be the same proportions but just magnified. So what we'll do now we want to make this look a bit cloudy. So if we refer back to this panel here, we just want to create this kind of cloudy look in the background, and then on top of that we'll do some finer detail veining. So if you've got your hog hair softener there.
Yeah.
I've got mine here, and what we'll do, we'll be going across the veins.
Yeah.
We'll do that to start with. So it's just gentle left to right across the veins.
And that's it. You're doing that like a 90 degrees on the top of that.
That's right, absolutely that, Barry. Yep, that's good. And that basically we just want to get it all nice and cloudy, and that creates
just from side to side at the moment.
Yeah, side to side. That's fine, just all over. So we're losing the brush marks of the paint. That's very good, Barry.
So we're going. So wherever that vein's going, we're going 90 degrees against it.
Yes.
Yeah? And 90 degrees with your brush as well.
Yes, that's right. So we've got the basic paint structure on there now. We've made it look cloudy. What we'll do now, we'll just use a badger softener, and this kind of just these are kind of finer bristles to these hog hair bristles. So this is badger hair. So we're just going to use the very tips of the brush. Often as painters and decorators we're used to using the sides of the brush, but just on this instance we're going to use the tips. And then we're going to go with the vein now. So we're just going to soften that like that. So it's very subtle.
Oh yeah.
So that just softens and blends the veins. Very good. So using the same paints as what we've used so far, we just want to make the paint slightly darker now. So using the goose feather or the swan feather, we can just have a bit of scumble glaze on the tip of the feather, and then we just want to introduce a little bit more of that Payne's grey, the Daler-Rowney Payne's grey.
Just on the tip, was it?
Yeah, just on the tip, and then bring it down maybe 7 or 8 centimetres. Yep, that's good. And we can just add a touch of white if we need to. We can just splay the feather out just a touch, like that. If you just hold it with your thumb and 2 fingers like that, and just feel very relaxed, and then just like we did with the brush, and we'll start with the primary veins, and then we'll go to the secondary veins. So I'll just show you here. So we're just using the tips, and it's useful if you've had a few glasses of wine the night before. And you just get a nice jagged look going through it, and we'll just follow what we've already done.
So quite jagged, quite sort of spiky kind of.
It is.
Yeah. Not sort of going through it quickly.
That's right. Yep. So just dragging the paint through.
Tips,
Yep, just the tips. So you just want that kind of cracked look going through.
Yeah, I'm sort of like very straight on over my sort of veins.
Yeah, that's all right. That's coming on. Yeah, that's fine.
Give us a bit of a...
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you just bring that down through, just like you did last time. Great. Okay. Excellent. Then we'll just do the secondary ones there. So all we're doing today is just achieving a very simple, this is the first process to Carrera marble. The panel that we have behind there, that's a 2 or 3 stage process. So this is just the beginner's stage of creating a Carrera effect. Okay, what we'll do again now, Barry, we'll use the Badger hair softener.
Yeah.
And we'll just soften, we'll just go over the work we've done. We'll just break up that veining that we've created. And we've got all these very natural, sharp, jaggedy edges, which you would have in Carrara marble. And in the natural, when marble's being formed, these are the carbon deposits that are going through the natural marble, and that's why it leaves those dark veins.
You can really see a difference, can't you, when you start using the softener, how much it starts to bring it sort of like piece of marble to life.
That's right. Yeah, you kind of get that depth where you're almost taking away the paint and applying it at the same time.
I'm happy with this part here.
Yeah, that's
looks
great,
nice,
Barry.
isn't it? Yeah.
That's really good. That will probably do for the softening for the time, Barry. Sometimes we can over soften and lose the detail.
Yeah. So that's the first stage done, and watch the second video for the next stage.